Good morning, everyone. We are back. We are back at it again. And I'm excited to announce that I have a new stand. This new stand gives me a full panoramic view of what's going on. It's very, I like how this looks. Yeah, get the full screen instead of the kind of like the vertical perspective. How you guys doing today? We're jumping into the work week. I'm excited. I hope you guys are excited as well, because it's a beautiful day. And just good things. I want to say that good things are coming. Good things are on the way. It's on the way. It's on the way. It's on the way. I hope you guys had a wonderful weekend. Yeah. I want to hear from every single one of you. Let me see, by a show of hands, how many had a great weekend. For me, it's been a really good weekend. It was a really good weekend. There have been a lot of ups and downs in my own life personally. I share this as a peer. And just really saw God work some miracles. And it's because just He's good, and He's been able to really show His goodness in setting us up in the middle of some amazing people that are a fantastic support group. And I can't say it enough. I'm super grateful. Super duper grateful to have such amazing people around us that are championing us and making sure that we're healthy, making sure that we're okay. And same thing, it's mutual, because we're there to also make sure that everybody else is okay, make sure everybody is doing well. And it's not easy, but nobody said it would be easy. Yeah, so I just wanted to hop on here and express my gratitude for some special friends that really came in and showcased the love of God in a very real way, very hands-on. I'm talking about, all right, if we're gonna, this channel platform it really isn't to talk about religion or anything, or beliefs, or beliefs it's fair to say that I can talk about beliefs here, but I'm not pushing either way. I'm just saying that the people who we're around, we love Jesus, and we trust in Him. And what that looks like is where I'm trying to get at. Is what that looks like is being around people who don't just talk, but also are showing up in a very real way, in a time when it needs to be real. And they just they really stepped up, and it was marvelous. It was marvelous. I have no words really to fully express what's going on in here, but I'm gonna try anyways. And what I want to highlight is that when you are surrounded by people who love you authentically and who want to see you succeed authentically, then things begin to move a little bit smoother, because you have a support group that is willing to either to speak life into you and to help you when things are not going right and kind of like try and guide you. But there's another part to that, to be the person who's able to open the ears and say, hey, man, this isn't working, so maybe I should take advice from my peers, the people around me who do want to see me succeed. If things aren't working properly, one way, then let's try another way, and then troubleshoot it that way. So having that group of people around you in all times, not just the good times and the bad times, but all times, helps to develop a person more. And I think that's what's happening. I think that's what's happening in my life, in my family's life. So I just wanted to say I'm very grateful. I am very grateful in this season, because it's been rough, friends. It's been rough, friends. If you go back, the last video that I posted, I was going through it, but I didn't want to, talk about it. But guess what? This is my channel. This is the channel where I'm able to talk about things. And as Byron Golden says, like, if you don't like what I'm saying, then there's many more channels out there, But I'm here to share what's on my heart, and I'm here to share what development is going on in me. And this is real time. This is not a professional channel where you can just come here and get 100% answers. Like, no. This is actually more of a peer-to-peer channel. So this is why I ask. I want to hear what you have to say. I want to hear what your thoughts are, on my content. I want to hear what your thoughts are on the books. What books are you reading? So that I can partner with you as well, and that we can kind of like pick each other's brains and say, hey, this is what I learned. So the core of this channel is to share ideas and to communicate with each other one day at a time, just one day at a time. So yeah, I wanted to hop on here and just say I'm very grateful. I'm looking, the future is bright. And I want to just say that sometimes we go through hard things and we feel like we cannot get through it, or we feel like we have to go through it alone. And I think that's one of the things that sometimes is a hindrance to us as people, when we want to go at things alone and just kind of like try and tough it out. But then when you realize, like, there were people who were ready, willing, and able to help. As Myron Golden says, there's people who want to help, and they can't help in the way that you might expect, and there's people who can help, but they're not willing to help, So when you meet, when you get to a point where there's friends and peers that are willing and able, then you're able to move in the direction that you need to. And a big part of that is communicating. A big part of that is kind of like getting very vulnerable. In the book Super Communicators, they talk about different types of communication forms. One of them is called the "What are we?" And in this stage of the conversation, when we're in the "What are we?" stage, we're just two people or a group of people are just trying to understand, what is this? And while you're doing that, you're kind of like testing the waters, saying, once you get past the kind of like the pleasantries, then you get into the nitty gritty of the thing. What are we? Are we a peer, a group of friends that are here in this stage of life, or are we just acquaintances? Which is, it's all good and well to be just acquaintances. There's a time and place for that. You know, you're not gonna mesh with everybody. But then there's also people who are friends, who are, you know, through thick and thin. And you can think back. I like to say, think back to your friends. Like, who are the people that you reach out to, and you can say, hey man, I'm having a hard day. You know, I don't even know what to do now. You know, are those same people the same people that you're going to say, hey, I need to drop a business proposal? You know, like, is it the same peer group? Maybe. Chances are it's not. You know, because you're talking about two different things. You're talking about emotion, and then you're talking about, you know, analytics. You're talking about business, and these are different sections. So figuring out what are we helps to get a group understanding of what we're talking about, so that we're able to communicate more effectively. If we're talking about what are we don't have to, you know, hover around what the weather is during the day. So all of this is to say that getting a grip on who we are and communicating that to the peer group will help you communicate what's in here. And I'll say that just for myself. Perhaps when I have to get myself out there and try and, you know, really make a connection with people, a lot of the times, like, I could hover on the surface all day, but when you break that wall, that's when you actually begin to communicate and share what's really at hand, what's the matter, you know, at hand. So there's so much that I want to say, but I just wanted to hop on here and say I'm very grateful. You know, there are times in life when you just kind of have to just stop and just be grateful. And this is one of those times for me. I'm grateful every day. I'm more of a optimist. I see the silver lining, and I'm looking for the good in every situation, even when it's dire. I don't like to skew negative at all, but sometimes that also can look like just doesn't know what's going on, you know. It's just wishful thinking. Wishful thinking is definitely a mantra, but that doesn't necessarily mean that that's how the world is. So I am positive, you know, but you have to kind of like see things where they are when they're there. And what I mean by that is that when things are hard, with that peer group, those close friends, you can say, hey, it's hard right now, and like I'm having a hard time just moving forward in any direction. You know, it gets foggy, you know. So with those peer groups, I'm very thankful. I'm very thankful for those people who are there, who are able to kind of like just be a rock and keeping us super steady. And, you know, there's a lot of people come to mind when I think of those who have been there. You know, there was a tough time when, and I'll share this with you. This has to do with driving. So we have a neighbor, wonderful neighbor, who she also drives and does so many different things. She's a sweetheart. And there came a time when I was driving my Tucson, and the Tucson was already giving me hints that the transmission was on its way out. And I'm just wishful thinking, hoping, my wife is driving it. She's telling me, that's not supposed to do that, that's what's going on, and she's wonderful, because she's the one who's like, hey, let's address this, because this is not going to be good. And I'm like holding on, like, maybe if I drive a little bit more, like if I don't brake as much, that's not the solution. You have to kind of like address it. But to the matter at hand, my neighbor, finally the car gave out one day, and it was months after. I had I almost had 200,000 miles on it, and it almost completely stopped on me. It just wouldn't accelerate anymore. And I was like, all right, I can't do Uber if I can't drive. So that it was a very hard time. It was a valley, if you will. And I just didn't know what to do. I tried different things. I tried calling, figuring out where can I get a car to rent, all of this stuff. And it was just a hard time, and I couldn't think clearly. This is why I'm saying all of this. I couldn't think clearly during that time, because I was so stressed out about, what are we going to do? How am I going to provide? That's the bottom line. Got to. And sure enough, I'm calling people, I'm asking for prayer, and I speak with my neighbor, and she said, I've been through this before, and I know, I understand what you're doing. And she brought some calm into the situation that I did not have. She was like, listen, I understand you're stressed out, but this is what we're gonna do. And I was able to hold on to her steadiness, and trust in her guidance. And sure enough, she was the one who was a rock in that situation. She was like, listen, let's get you into a new car. And I know you wanted to ride this thing till the wheels fell off, but that also means something, so. And here I am. I'm in a 2023 Kia Soul, brand new. Never had a brand new car out the box before, and the situation gave me a brand new car. So again, being around the right people who have the experience, will help you get into a better place. Or even if you don't know what to do in certain situations, sometimes relying and leaning on other people's experience will help guide you along the way. So be grateful for every situation. Be grateful, because it will pass. It won't last forever. I know it feels like it's gonna last forever, and it's hard to move forward. But be grateful, trust, have faith, pray, and get yourself around some really great people, because there's some really great people. Experience has shown me that there are really great people out there who want to meet you and who want to partner with you. So that's the message for today. Thank you so much for listening, and I will see you on the next video. Bye-bye.